I'm going to just keep it real. This weekend, Shedeur Sanders outplayed Fernando Mendoza, pound for pound. He outplayed him. Let's stop the games. He outplayed the Cam Ward, the #1 overall pick. Let's keep it real. Keep it a buck. He outplayed him. And if either one of these dudes would have had that type of stat line and showed that type of incredible moxie, grit, and on top of it, I like this energy. He said, you know what? I would have been demonstrably upset if I was cooking like that and they took the football out of my hands. You know what he said? It ain't my position. I can only do what I can do. Listen, to me, I'm done talking about the questions. With this offensive line and what this team is doing, the Cleveland Browns need to go into this draft, get them some linemen and some receivers, and build around 12. Stop playing with me. If Dylan Gabriel had this kind of performance, we'd have been jumping off the top of the roofs. Let's not act like we wouldn't have been, oh my gosh, we found something. It's Dylan. It's a super.
The story changed completely in Cleveland, and what Kevin Stefanski just said in his latest press conference has shocked the whole NFL world. After weeks of rumors, criticism, and claims that the Browns coaching staff has been holding Shedeur Sanders back with very conservative play calling, the head coach stood in front of the media and gave a speech that made Browns fans happy and Titans fans nervous. Stefanski made it very clear that he is ready to let Shedeur Sanders throw the ball, open up the offense, and give this young quarterback the chance he has been waiting for since draft day.
Fake. Sanders has it, hesitates, a lot of room to run. One of the Titans fell down, and Sanders slides across the 40, getting a first down.
When you hear exactly what Stefanski said, when you understand what this change in strategy means, and when you realize what this means for Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans, you'll see why this matchup is now must-see TV, and why Shedeur Sanders might be about to have his best game in the NFL. Let's begin with the exact words Kevin Stefanski said at his press conference in the middle of the week, because that's when everything changed. When asked directly about Shedeur Sanders and whether the coaching staff trusts him enough to open things up, Stefanski's answer was spot on. He said that young quarterbacks go through a normal process of growing up, that they're seeing NFL looks and game speed for the first time, and that they sometimes hesitate as they get used to the professional level. But then Stefanski said what Browns fans have been dying to hear for weeks. He said, and this is a direct quote that should be highlighted and celebrated, "I don't mind that he's letting it go. Let it go." Those 3 words mean a big change in philosophy from what we've seen in the last few weeks. Kevin Stefanski is finally ready to trust his young quarterback, as these 3 words show. These 3 words mean that Shedeur Sanders' handcuffs are coming off, and he is about to show the whole NFL what he can do when he is free to play his game. This press conference marks a huge change in how the Cleveland Browns are treating their young quarterback, and the timing couldn't be better. This weekend, the Browns will play the Tennessee Titans, one of the NFL's worst teams, a team that had a hard time on defense all season, a team that is perfect for a young quarterback to play against to gain confidence and build momentum. Kevin Stefanski seems ready to open up the playbook and let Shedeur throw the ball 35 to 40 times if that's what the game calls for, instead of the very conservative approach that limited him to about 20 passes per game in his previous starts. Stefanski's comments are very important because they are a complete 180 from what has been going on in the Cleveland media for the past few weeks. Local radio hosts have been talking openly about how the Browns have been playing it safe with their offense. Fans are upset that Shedeur has only thrown 61 passes in 3 starts. Analysts have been wondering why the coaches didn't trust a quarterback who showed great arm strength throughout his college career. And now, all of a sudden, Kevin Stefanski is in front of cameras saying he doesn't care if Shedeur lets it rip. That's not just something you say to get it over with. That's a public statement of trust and faith that goes out to Shedeur, the team, the fans, and the whole league.
Shedeur did some great things today. Let's keep it rolling. Now, this is the very next play. Shedeur dominates on the sideline here. Because Kevin Stefanski, with the game on the line, what the hell is this? It's just a quick aside. Shedeur's not in the game right now. Down by 2 points, the Browns are. The Browns have a rookie that's thrown for more yards than any quarterback in the history of the franchise as a rookie.
Let's talk about what it really means to let it rip. This isn't just about throwing deep balls on every play. When Stefanski says to let Shedeur rip it, he means that the quarterback should be able to make plays and change plays at the line of scrimmage when he sees good matchups. She didn't want the trust to throw the ball into tight spaces when the situation calls for it, and the confidence to take smart risks that can lead to big plays and change the course of games. This is about treating Shedeur like a real NFL starting quarterback instead of a rookie who needs to be protected and kept in check at all times. Because Stefanski was clearly talking about the elephant in the room, the context of this press conference makes it even more important. A reporter said that Shedeur thought he saw what he needed to see on Sunday against the 49ers, but he didn't always let it go, or was afraid to rip it for some reason. That's a reference to plays where Shedeur could have thrown the ball downfield, but chose safer options instead. He could have taken shots, but played it safe. And the offense as a whole seemed to be operating with a governor that kept them from really opening things up. Stefanski's answer was perfect because he recognized that learning takes time and made it clear that he wants Shedeur to be aggressive, trust his arm, and let the ball fly when he has the chance. Now, let's look at what this means for the Tennessee Titans game in particular, because this matchup just got a lot more interesting. The Titans are having a hard time this season in all areas. In a lot of ways, their defense is one of the worst in the league. Their pass rush hasn't been putting enough pressure on the other team's quarterbacks. All year long, their secondary has been open to big plays.
Real good. See him catch up with him. Just let him know, I'm here. I'm excited to, see him keep going. And, he's going to continue to, make plays for Cleveland. He's a good quarterback, and so I'm excited to have him as a friend.
Their offense has had trouble keeping drives going and keeping an eye on the clock. This is the kind of opponent where an aggressive passing attack can really take over. A quarterback with a strong arm can break down coverages, and an offense can build rhythm and confidence by moving the ball quickly through the air. If Kevin Stefanski keeps his word and lets Shedeur throw the ball 35 to 40 times, and if he makes an aggressive game plan that takes advantage of Tennessee's weak spots on defense, then Sunday could be the big game that Shedeur Sanders has been waiting for. We could see a stat line with 250 to 300 passing yards, several touchdown passes, a completion percentage in the 60s or 70s, and a performance that makes everyone in the NFL sit up and take notice. This would show that Cleveland might have something special developing at the quarterback position. It's not just wishful thinking that Shedeur will throw for more than 200 yards and score more than one touchdown. It's based on a realistic look at the matchup, the other team's weaknesses, and what Shedeur can do when he gets the chance. Shedeur always came through in big games during his time at Colorado. He threw for a lot of yards against good teams. Every week, he made throws that were good enough for the NFL. He had the arm strength to throw the ball downfield, the accuracy to hit receivers in stride, and the processing speed to go through progressions and find open targets. That skill is still there. Just because he's in the NFL now doesn't mean it has gone away. Conservative play calling and few chances have kept it down. But if Kevin Stefanski is finally ready to lift those restrictions, Shedeur will show everyone what he can do. We should also talk about how this affects Shedeur Sanders mentally. Confidence is everything for a young quarterback. Hearing your head coach say in front of everyone that he doesn't care if you let it rip. When he tells the media that he trusts you to be aggressive and make plays, it gives you a lot of power as a player who has been limited in what you can do. That kind of public vote of confidence can free a quarterback's mind, get rid of the fear of making mistakes, and let him trust his instincts and play with the freedom that top quarterbacks need to win. Shedeur now knows that his coaches believe in him and that they won't punish him for taking risks. They want him to be aggressive instead of safe. That mental freedom could mean the difference between a bad game and a great game that changes the course of his career. This change in philosophy has effects that go beyond just one game against the Titans. If Shedeur plays well on Sunday, throwing for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns, and showing that he can handle an aggressive game plan and make plays when he has the chance, it will completely change the story about his future in Cleveland. People will stop asking if he's the right quarterback and start talking about how the Browns can build around him, what weapons they need to add in the offseason, and how they can keep developing him into a franchise cornerstone. A young quarterback's development timeline can speed up with just one good game, and he can be the clear starter going forward. During his press conference, Kevin Stefanski also talked about other parts of the team. His attitude made it clear that he is focused and determined to finish the season strong. He talked about how the team was focused and excited to play at home in front of their fans and how they needed to make sure they played their best football. That's the kind of thing a head coach should say to get his team ready to play well. And when you put all of that general hope and focus together with the specific comments about letting Shedeur rip it, you can see that the coaching staff is finally ready to trust their young quarterback and give him the ball. It's also important to talk about changes to the offensive line, because protection is important for any quarterback, but especially for a young player who is still getting used to the speed of the NFL. Stefanski said that they will have different players at right guard and right tackle, guys who have been working on their skills and getting ready for their chances. The fact that he talked about how physical those players were and how ready they were to help suggests that the coaches are confident that they can protect Shedeur and give him time to work in the pocket. If the offensive line can keep Tennessee's pass rush from getting to Shedeur, and if they can give him clean pockets and time to work through his progressions, then the offense could have a big game. One of the most interesting things about this game is that it gives Shedeur a chance to make a statement, not just to his own team, but to the whole league. There has been a lot of talk about where Shedeur should have been drafted, whether teams made a mistake by not taking him, and how good he can be as an NFL quarterback. A strong performance against the Titans won't answer all of those questions for sure, but it will definitely get people's attention. It will make scouts and GMs rethink what they thought they knew. Fans and reporters will wonder if Cleveland got a great deal in the 5th round. And it will put Shedeur on the national map in a way that playing in conservative offenses never could. The comparison to how other young quarterbacks in the league are being used also helps explain why this change is so important. This season, we've seen rookie quarterbacks thrown into the fire with 40 to 50 pass attempts in games, and they have to carry their offenses even when things aren't going well. There are risks to that approach, but it speeds up development and lets organizations quickly see what they have at the position. The fact that Kevin Stefanski is now apparently ready to give Shedeur that same kind of chance to throw the ball and make plays shows that the Browns are finally ready to stop babying him and start looking at him as a real NFL starting quarterback. Another thing is that this is a home game at Cleveland Stadium in front of their fans, and that setting could really help Shedeur. When you play at home, you get the noise of friendly fans, the comfort of being in familiar surroundings, and the energy of fans who want to see their team win and their young quarterback grow. If Shedeur can use the energy from the crowd to his advantage, if he can make big plays and score touchdowns to give Browns fans something to cheer about, it will create positive momentum that lasts long after this game. This is the best way to play against the Tennessee Titans, because they don't have a lot of talent or a lot of schemes that will completely blow you away. They are having trouble in a lot of areas. Injuries will probably keep them from having important players. They're playing away from home against a team that really wants to make something good happen. All of these things suggest that the Browns should be able to control the game and build a big lead if they play aggressively, throw the ball well, and take advantage of good matchups. And once you're ahead, Shedeur can keep throwing to boost his stats and confidence instead of having to go into super cautious clock management mode. Let it rip will become a rallying cry for Browns fans this week because it sums up everything they've been wanting to see from their coaches. It shows that people trust the young quarterback. It shows that you are willing to be bold and take risks. It means you know you can't really judge a player if you keep telling him what he can and can't do. Fans of the Browns have been angry that other teams in the league have given their young quarterbacks chances while Shedeur only got to throw 20 passes a game. Kevin Stefanski is finally ready to give Shedeur the same chances, and fans are very excited about what could happen. We should also think about what this means for the entire offensive unit and the receiving corps. When a quarterback is free to throw the ball to different targets, it gives receivers a chance to show off their skills and build chemistry with the passer. Jerry Jeudy is a good receiver who can make plays when he gets the chance, even though he has trouble with drops. David Njoku is a fast tight end who can make things hard for the other team in the middle of the field. The running backs can also help out in the passing game. If Shedeur throws the ball 35 to 40 times, all of those players will have more chances to touch the ball and make a difference in the game. Kevin Stefanski's comments about not being worried about Shedeur letting it rip also make it seem like the coaching staff has seen something in practice this week. Some level of confidence or execution that makes them feel safe opening things up. What you do in practice doesn't always work out perfectly on game day. But if Shedeur has been sharp in practice, making the throws and showing that he knows how to run the offense, the coaches would definitely feel more confident about being more aggressive on Sunday. Stefanski said that they've had a good work week and that the guys are focused, which suggests that the team is ready to play. If the Browns really do open up the offense, the prediction of 200 or more yards and multiple touchdowns is actually pretty conservative. If Shedeur throws 35 to 40 passes and completes about 65% of them, he will complete 23 to 26 passes. That's 230 to 260 yards right there if those completions average just 10 yards each. If you add in a few big plays that go for 20 yards or more and a few big gains, you're almost at 300 yards. If you throw 2 or 3 touchdown passes against a weak defense, people will pay attention to your stats. That's not a dream. That's what can really happen when a good quarterback plays against a bad team. People are really excited about this game because it seems like a real turning point for Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. After weeks of conservative play calling, endless arguments about whether the coaches trust their young quarterback, and frustrating games where Shedeur barely threw 20 passes, we finally get to see what happens when the restrictions are lifted. Kevin Stefanski's words were clear, direct, and positive. He's ready to let Shedeur go. He doesn't mind that the quarterback is aggressive. He wants the offense to do better. And all of that will come together on Sunday when they play the Titans. This is what Browns fans have been waiting for. The game where Shedeur Sanders finally gets to show what he can do when he gets to play his own way. The other team is perfect. The time is perfect. It looks like the coaching staff is on board. If everything goes as planned and Shedeur plays as well as everyone who saw him at Colorado knows he can, then Sunday will be the start of something special in Cleveland. This isn't just another game. This could be the moment that changes everything. If you're as excited as you should be to see Shedeur Sanders finally get to play, if you want to see what happens when Kevin Stefanski actually keeps his word and lets this young quarterback rip it, and if you're ready to celebrate what could be a breakout performance that makes Shedeur a real NFL starting quarterback, then you need to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel right away. We're giving you all the analysis, predictions, and insider information you need to know what's really going on in Cleveland. This Tennessee Titans game is going to be talked about for weeks, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Leave a comment below with your guess about Shedeur's stats on Sunday, and let's see who gets the closest to the real numbers. This is the time we've been waiting for, and Shedeur Sanders is about to show the whole NFL what he can do when the coaches finally trust him enough to let him go.